Today I'm going to teach you guys how to show up. Say that you really want to do something, but you never actually take action, and you've made zero progress. You can have as much will to do it as you want, but if you don't actually do it, then there's no point. One of the great things about self-improvement is the ability to compound. As a man, you're always going to be in competition, whether it be with your coworkers for that promotion that you want if you're trapped in a 9-to-5, or you're in school and you want to beat the popular kids so that maybe you can get the girl. Whatever it is, you're going to be competing, because to achieve your goals, you're going to be taking from someone else. That's just the reality of the world. So, to win in the competition, you need to put in some effort. And this scares a lot of people away. The vast majority, say 95% of the people in your school, they're not doing anything productive. They're trapped scrolling on TikTok, partying, they go out to drink. The vast majority of them, not everyone. If you're doing that too, then you're trapped in the rat race. You're limiting yourself. This pleasure that comes from scrolling on TikTok and eating your dinner out of microplastics, it doesn't last. No one ever wakes up in the morning and thinks, I'm so happy I used TikTok for 6 hours yesterday. It doesn't happen. That is called instant gratification. Whenever you do something and it makes you happy in the moment, say your baseline happiness is here, and it brings your happiness up to here. It's pretty good until it's finished. Then your happiness slowly drifts down and it's lower than it was at the baseline. And maybe you try to use TikTok again to get back to the baseline, and you're at the baseline while it lasts, and then it ends and you're even lower. That is how people get stuck with a room that you can't see the floor because there's so many clothes on the ground. It's how people get stuck not brushing their teeth, not pursuing their hygiene, because their mental health is so drained from these corporations' tactics to keep you hooked, keep you addicted, to make it as pleasurable as possible. But in the end, that's all it is. It's temporary pleasure. There's a better solution to this than to just fall into the constant spiral, negative spiral of pleasure. If you're constantly seeking this pleasure, there's likely a hole in your heart. And that hole is the lack of joy. Because someone with perfect mental health, they're not going to be scrolling on TikTok for 6 hours. They're going to have a purpose, something that they love to do, and that's what's bringing them that joy. And this comes from delaying gratification, because the opposite of spiking your pleasure and then watching it fall below the baseline is to do something that maybe lowers you a little bit at the start from the baseline, and then it raises it up. And then this is your new baseline. And you can keep on doing that, and it'll keep compounding. And while that popular kid you're competing for the girl with is out partying, drinking, lowering their baseline, you're doing things that are hard in the moment to raise yours up. So now that we've identified that delayed gratification is the obvious way to go whenever you think about it. Let me solidify this in your mind even more. Say that life was like a video game, and you have two options to live this life. In this video game, you can either waste time filling your pleasure bar so that your character is more happy, or you can build the skills that you know is going to make your character happy later. If you're in a video game and you don't really care how happy your character is at the start, obviously once you maxed out, your character's going to be happier anyway. You're going to work at those skills, even though it might look like it's draining your character's mental health. You're going to be stronger than everyone else in this so-called video game, and that character is going to be so fulfilled that it won't even care that it sacrificed all that pleasure at the start. So how do we do this practically? First, you need to identify the good habits that you want to start doing. This could be anything. This module works on whatever good habit you want to start, but I'm going to give you a couple. Say you want to start delaying gratification. There's 4 things. You need to go to the gym. You need to meditate. You need to do gratitude journaling. And you need to take cold showers. Whenever you're first starting a good habit, you need to eliminate your pride, your ego, that says, I can do 3 push-ups, so I should immediately start at the push-ups. If you're not at the push-up level whenever you're working out, let's say hypothetically you're 300 pounds and you're not a strong man. You've never worked out before. You're not going to be able to do a push-up yet. You have to start on the wall and try to work your way up to 50 wall push-ups. And then once you're able to progress past the wall, you still don't go straight to push-ups. You go to the incline push-ups, and you slowly make those harder until you're finally able to get to the push-ups. That could take some people years. Probably not years, probably a couple months. That could take some people a couple months. And they went from not being able to do push-ups to being able to do push-ups. But if your ego is limiting you, say you started doing your push-ups because you could do 3 push-ups, 2 push-ups, you're likely going to injure yourself, because if you've never done it before, then you're probably not going to have good form. This can apply to all of the good habits. Say you're at level 1, wall push-ups. You need to work your way, gain experience doing more wall push-ups to get to level 2. So practically in the gym, if you don't want to do calisthenics, I'd recommend starting at that. But level 1 would be bench pressing just the bar. And then you add weight every single time that you get to 15 reps on just the bar. You would add 5 pounds. And then do that extra 5 pounds until you can get back to 15 reps. And this is how you compound your way to your dream physique, by slowly gaining those levels. Practically for cold showers, if you want to do cold showers for the dopamine boost and the energy that comes with it, you start with just getting the cold shock at the start, turning your shower all the way cold, and then as soon as you get in, you can turn it back hot. And then say you start doing that for 2 weeks and it gets a little easier for you, stay in that cold shower for a minute. That's level 2. And then a couple more weeks go by and you can do 2 minutes. And then suddenly you're taking full cold showers. For meditation, just take a couple breaths. Meditation is good for you in the sense that you can drill presence. An absent mind is never a happy mind. The absent-minded guys that can't focus on one thing, who can't be present with their family, They're thinking about whatever they're really into, their complex mathematics or their stocks, whatever it is. The guys who aren't present are never happy. So meditation ultimately brings you more happiness, because you can play with your dog. You can start having full conversations with your mom that you've never been able to do before. And it starts to unlock so many more opportunities, and people will start to like you more too. So to start meditating, close your eyes and focus on your breath. Breathe through your nose, not your mouth. Maybe one breath is all you can do. That's okay. Sit down and do one breath every single day. These easier versions of these habits are what helps you to show up, to be consistent every single time. If you're meditating for 10 minutes one day and then the next day you don't do it, maybe you don't do it for another week because that 10 minutes of meditation was really hard. What's the point of that meditation? You did it once, great. You're not going to get your dream physique working out once a year. It doesn't happen. So say you're on level 3 of meditation, you're doing 5 minutes of meditation, and you deprogress down to 3 minutes because 5 minutes felt too hard that day. You have to still show up, because if you commit to showing up and then you don't end up doing it, your brain is going to start not liking you. As a man, your word might be the only thing that you have. Whenever you tell yourself that I'm going to start showing up, and you don't show up, you start to respect yourself even less. And in the same way that good habits compound your way up, bad habits can slowly compound your way back down. So, say you want to go to the gym every single day, and one day you really don't feel like going to the gym. Instead of skipping, I would strongly suggest you just lower yourself down as many levels as it takes to actually show up. And that way, your baseline might go down ever so slightly, but the next time that you go, you're going to have a little bit more motivation, and it's going to go even higher than it was in the first place. The idea of making something easier to make yourself more likely to do it can also be reversed. Say you want to quit a bad habit. Say you want to quit video games. You have to make it more difficult to play video games. For me personally, I have to keep my computer in my room for schoolwork. So what I did was I flat out deleted all the games on my computer. Say that's not enough for you. The next step is to delete your account. Lose every bit of progress that you've made, because if you've committed to quitting video games, then you've finalized it in your mind that these are destructive for your life. I'd highly suggest that if you do play video games, if you do struggle in the way that I struggled, that you should take that leap. But this can apply to every bad habit that you have. Say you scroll on social media before bed, and whenever you wake up, move your phone. Charge your phone outside of your room. If that doesn't work, set like an accountability partner. For me, I have a friend that I text every single time that I relapse on video games, every time that I relapse on social media. We have a pact that we're not going to do that stuff anymore, because we have to surpass the popular guy for the girl. Whatever your goals are, whenever you put in the hard work now, your future self will always respect you for that. And the more respect that you can have for yourself, you'll be better at socializing, so you'll have more quality friends. Honestly, that's the only benefit I can think of right now. But having respect for yourself in itself is such a great thing to have, because then you have more contentment with your life. It's like you can go to sleep and have no regrets in the day, and that's such a magical thing. Say that you understand that compounding is the way to do it, and you still can't find the way to show up. I would suggest you to do a method that I did to start doing YouTube again. The idea is that you have to do it first thing in the morning. I don't allow myself to eat before I journal my YouTube ideas or do my YouTube, because whenever you're digesting your food, you're not going to want to put in the hard work. You have to do it whenever your stomach's still hungry and you have full clarity of mind, full presence of mind. That's how you're going to be fully consistent on your habits. I hope that these methods helped you guys. I'm still new to the speaking thing, so if you stayed till the end, thank you.